Hey my vintage loves, it is a cold and rainy day here in Brooklyn, so what a better time to mend and repair. If you're at all into vintage stuff, you will likely know what that means, that occasionally you find a piece that is just, needs a little love, little TLC, and you gotta put some work into it. So for today, I have a vintage Swiss Army style pocket knife. It's from an old brand that I really like. And the whole mechanics seem to be pretty solid, but the blades and various tools and instruments are patinaed and varnished and just not looking so great. So I want to go and do a little repair. So I've got some of my supplies. Let's roll up our sleeves and begin. So the first step was just to take a clean rag and some water just to wipe down off all the grime. Then took some of the great classic Brasso and applied it liberally to all of the surfaces, and used my fingers to kind of dab it out, give it full coverage. Starting to polish it and starting to see some of the residue coming off. Be sure to take care when applying to the extra sharp parts of the knife. You don't want to get cut during this process. Now I'm using Never Dull wadding polish. It was the first time I've ever used it. And you can start to see that the wadding polish seems to pull off some of the gunk and grime that's built up on the blades. And last but not least, you can see I used good old-fashioned steel wool. It was great to get into all the nooks and crannies on the knife. Definitely don't forget those. And used a little bit of Brasso with a Q-tip to get into all of the small spaces on the knife, following up with some steel wool polishing. Hey all, so I got a little bit skunked on this one. I think the plating on the blades may have just worn off over time. So I was able to clean it up a bit, but I didn't quite get it to be the gleaming, shining, brand new, out of the box look that I was kind of hoping for. A good learning experience, of course, and it's always something that's going to be part of the vintage experience. Sometimes things can be brought back to brand new, and other times they can just be brought back a bit. So I hope you got a little kick out of watching this process, and if you want to follow us for more vintage adventures, please do on Instagram at myvintageloveblog, and also hit subscribe below because that also helps us too. Thanks so much. Bye.